Chapter 4, Reproduction in Animals. Get into. Write the names of the babies of the following animals. All living things live for a certain period of time. This is called their lifespan. They die after completing their lifespan. To ensure the existence of their kind on Earth, all living things reproduce. The process by which living beings produce more of their own kind is known as reproduction. Animals reproduce in two different ways. Some give birth to young ones, some lay eggs that eventually hatch into offsprings. Animals that give birth to young ones. Animals such as dogs, cats, cows, horses, etc., are the animals that give birth to their young ones and feed them on their milk. These animals are called mammals. Mammals are the most developed among all animals. Their bodies are covered with hair. The young ones of mammals grow inside the mother's body for some weeks and take birth when developed enough. Mammals take care of their young ones and feed them with their milk. When the young ones grow enough to walk, the parents teach them how to find food and shelter on their own. They protect them from enemies. Find and answer. Can you name two mammals that live in the ocean? Info mine. The largest mammal is the blue whale, which is over 80 feet long, and the smallest mammal is Kitty's hog-nosed bat, which is 1.2 inches long. Animals that lay eggs: birds, frogs, insects, fish, reptiles, snails, etc., reproduce by laying eggs. These animals are called egg-laying or oviparous animals. Birds. Birds build nests to lay eggs. Birds nurture their eggs to keep them at the proper temperature before these eggs hatch into young ones. Within the egg, the growing baby is called an embryo. It goes through various stages of development before it comes out of the egg. All the stages of development from birth till maturity are called life cycle of an animal. Shell, yolk, thick albumen. All eggs are protected by a hard covering made of calcium carbonate called the shell. The shell is porous and allows the transfer of gases through it. Within the shell are the albumen, white, jelly like substance, and the yolk, yellow. Albumen contains protein that is necessary for the development of the growing bird, and the yolk is the source of food and contains the fat. The young bird will only develop at the proper temperature. This happens only when birds sits on them for several days. When the baby bird hatches from the egg, they do not have feathers, so the parents feed their young ones till their feathers develop. Life cycle of a hen. A hen lays eggs and incubates them in order to hatch them. The mother hen incubates the eggs by sitting on them. The embryo within the egg develops into a chick. Once it is matured completely, it breaks open the shell and hatches out of the egg. This chick eventually grows into an adult hen or a rooster. Find and answer. What is the study of eggs called? Life cycle of a hen. Adult, egg. Hatchling, chick. Infomine. Eggs that people eat are unfertilized eggs. That is, no chick is being formed in the egg. Up for review. Give one word for the following. Number 1. Animals that give birth to young ones. Number 2. The white, jelly like part of an egg. Number 3. The egg laying animals. Number 4. The growing baby within the egg. Number 5. All the stages of development from birth till maturity. Insects. Most of the insects, such as butterflies, grasshoppers, cockroaches, and houseflies, lay eggs. The young ones that come out of the eggs look very different from their parents. During their growth, they look different at every stage of their life cycle. Butterfly, grasshopper, cockroach. A small baby cockroach or a grasshopper that hatches from an egg is called nymph. They do resemble their parent but lack wings. After shedding their skin several times, they turn into an adult. When butterflies and housefly eggs hatch, small worms called larvae come out. The larva of a butterfly is called a caterpillar, and the larva of a housefly is called maggot. Life cycle of a butterfly. Butterflies lay eggs on leaves. After some days, tiny worm like creatures called caterpillars hatch from the eggs. Caterpillars eat leaves all the time and become plump and sluggish. As they grow in size, they periodically grow a new skin for their larger body and then shed their old skin. When the caterpillars reach a certain size, they stop eating and enclose themselves within a case. This stage is called pupa, and the case is called the cocoon. The caterpillars undergo many changes inside the cocoons. These changes that occur in a life form, its structure or function of organism, during the process of its growth or development is called metamorphosis. A few weeks later, beautiful butterflies come out of the cocoons. Life cycle of a frog. Frogs lay eggs in the water or wet places in clusters called spawn. Eggs hatch into small tadpoles. These tadpoles look more like a fish rather than a frog. Tadpoles have no legs but have long tails and breathe through gills in the water. They feed on pond weeds. As they grow, they develop two hind legs, two forelegs, and a pair of lungs. As the tadpoles undergo these changes, their tail keeps reducing in size until it finally disappears. Gradually, they turn into froglets and then into frogs. An adult frog breathes through lungs. Life cycle of a frog. Adult frog. Eggs. Embryo. Tadpole. Tadpole with two legs. Tadpole with four legs. Froglet. Adult frog. Reptiles. Lizards, turtles, and snakes also lay eggs but do not give any parental care to them. Most of their laid eggs are eaten by other animals. Among reptiles, only crocodiles and their relatives tend to both eggs and babies. Crocodiles nests in the ground and lay eggs there. They carry their newborn babies to a water body after they hatch and take care of them for some time. Take a look. Modes of reproduction. By giving birth to young ones, mammals. By laying eggs, birds, frogs, insects, reptiles.